The mysterious man. Suleiman was an old customer of Abdulhamid the barber, one of his earliest clients. He used to visit twice a week ever since the barber opened his shop beneath the apartment building. These visits were occasions to meet with residents of the building and the neighborhood. Many customers came to Abdulhamid's barber shop to pass the time, preferring it over the cafe overlooking the main street. Some would even ask to have tea or coffee brought to them at the shop, finding in it a unique pleasure. Their gatherings there allowed many to learn about the neighborhood in full detail. Among Abdulhamid's customers was a man in his 50s who came only once a month. He was quiet and reserved. Neither Abdulhamid nor his regular visitors knew what this man did for a living. Despite the many years he had been around them, he remained a mystery. According to the building's doorman, the man lived alone, and no one ever visited him. This only increased their quiet curiosity. He left early every morning, clean-shaven, well-dressed, and always in the same car he had owned for years. He would return most evenings around 8. The men at the barber shop followed his movements but could not learn more about his life. This deepened their desire to know more about this mysterious man, who only exchanged brief greetings when he encountered someone at the building entrance, in the parking area, or at the barber's shop. None of them even knew his name for certain. The barber called him Si Mohammed, and he never objected. It was common practice to call someone by that name out of respect if their real name was unknown. Among the regulars at the barber shop was a man in his mid-40s named Abdel Ghaffar. Known to be a real estate broker, he often used the shop to arrange his meetings. In the mid-1990s, mobile phones were not widespread, and Abdel Ghaffar, whose full name was Abdel Ghaffar Ben Rabah, was involved in brokering apartment rentals and sales in the housing complex, as well as land sales in both legal and informal areas. He also traded in used cars, making him a key source of neighborhood news. One evening, after Maghrib prayer, Abdel Ghaffar entered the barber shop with sensational news. He said a woman came asking about Si Mohammed. He added with a mocking smile that the man's real name was El Jalali. The barber paused mid-shave, holding the razor in one hand and steadying the customer's head with the other. Abdel Ghaffar continued, the woman claimed she was his wife and had come from Fez to Marrakesh looking for him. She said he once owned a jewelry shop in Fez, but suddenly sold it and disappeared. She suspected he had remarried, though she was relieved to learn he lived alone. Despite the details, this didn't satisfy the group's curiosity. They wanted to know what the man did for a living, what his relationships were like. But Abdel Ghaffar had nothing more to add. Soon, the suspense faded. After the Isha prayer, the group dispersed, and Abdulhamid closed his shop. The next morning, around 9 a.m., Abdulhamid arrived, opened the shop, swept the inside and nearby area, and noticed a 4x4 with foreign license plates parked nearby. 3 strongly built men got out. One looked at him briefly while the others walked past without notice. Abdulhamid figured it was nothing concerning him. About 45 minutes later, the men returned, got into their car, and left. That evening, Abdel Ghaffar arrived again with urgent news. The doorman had told him that 3 foreigners had asked about El Jalali and taken the elevator to his apartment before leaving. The broker suspected the men had come to settle a score. Over the next 2 days, the man's car remained in its spot. The doorman knocked on his door but got no response. He informed the police. Officers came and knocked repeatedly. When no one answered, they forced entry. The apartment looked like a battlefield, items scattered everywhere. In the living room, the man was found with dried blood on his face and broken teeth. A policeman checked his pulse and shouted, "He's alive!" He was rushed to the hospital. Every room was a mess, suggesting the intruders were searching for something. A forensic team arrived to collect fingerprints and evidence. Neighbor testimonies described the man as upright. At the barber shop, the police heard from Abdel Ghaffar, who told them about the woman who had come asking about Si Mohammed, claiming to be his wife. She said he once owned a jewelry shop before going bankrupt and vanishing. Abdulhamid told the police about the 3 muscular men he saw get out of a foreign car and enter the building. The doorman confirmed he accompanied them to the 4th floor and pointed to the man's apartment. They gave him 50 dirhams. After 2 days in intensive care, the man regained consciousness. The police had already discovered his true identity, Abdel Salam Bouida, a wanted man for years who had used a false identity. Nothing the woman claimed was verified. It appeared she had been used by the attackers to gather information and confirm his location. Abdel Salam Bouida had been on the run after being involved in a deadly assault in Taza. Investigations at the time revealed his ties to international drug trafficking networks. While still in the hospital, he confessed to having ties with such a network and admitted the victim in Taza had been one of his associates. Bouida diverted funds from drug deals into his personal account, about 1 million dirhams, and refused to return them. He claimed he didn't intend to kill the man. This was history now. What concerned investigators most was his connection to the men who brutally attacked him. He had multiple fractures and smashed teeth. He said they came from Spain, sent by a European drug ringleader. The attack was over an incomplete drug deal. The network had failed to smuggle a shipment after Bouida received an advance payment. The case called for international cooperation to uncover the leaders of the trafficking ring in Europe. Bouida had chosen to live in that apartment complex in Marrakesh because it drew no suspicion. He kept his old car and avoided trouble with neighbors to prevent legal attention. He benefited from a network specializing in forged identity documents, which helped him move freely under the name El Jalali. For days, the story of the mysterious man was the talk of Abdulhamid's barbershop. Abdel Ghaffar the broker came to realize that some people's secrets are too deep to uncover, and that sometimes, a mask becomes the real face.